fortune and destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
Tennessee Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title. Connect with
the SEC runs through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the 2nd consecutive season.
the 1-0. Indiana, right center field. Cross on the move. Won't get there. Tennessee walks it off. It's a mismatch. Deep green. Come on now. And don't connect. Rocky trying this time. Indeed. New hand jam. That little guy on the fly is high and again, and he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top, this is college football at its absolute best.
College athletics at its absolute best, man. Welcome in to another episode of the Fanatics Show. I'm Michael, my co-host Skylar. Skylar, man, how we doing on this this fine September Thursday?
Yeah, man. 9/11. First and foremost, remembering that day and everything that went with it 24 years ago. The 343 firefighters that lost their life, the 72 officers as well, and then countless numbers. I don't have the number on top of my head, but just the people that were in the towers that unfortunately lost their life and the family that impacted to this day. Yeah, I got them heavy on my heart as well. Tragedy yesterday. RIP Charlie Kirk. I feel like it's very important, no matter who you are, to be killed like that just for voicing your opinion is absolutely shameful to this country. And but I wanted to not go any further without paying my respects to both 9/11 and to Charlie Kirk before the show. But other than that, Michael, personally, man, very blessed. I hugged my wife a little bit tighter last night and this morning when I woke up. And we're here, and we get to talk about ball. There's absolutely nothing better in the world to do than talk ball, especially this week. What a weekend we got in front of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I just want to say as well, you hit the nail on the head with all that. Whether you agreed with Charlie Kirk or not, that doesn't matter. Anybody that voices their opinion should not be subject to that right there. It's just not called for. And, I'm with you there, hug my wife and my kid a little bit tighter, last night, this morning, it hit me because, he's got 2 young children at home as well that he leaves behind. But I do want to spin this around for a second. So I did not fact check to know if this is true, but I did see an article today.
Okay.
That, if it is true, makes me love Tennessee and Danny White even more. So the article that I saw said that Danny White came out and pledged to pay for the children's upbringing and their education of Charlie Kirk's kids.
I seen that article. I've seen several other universities do it, so I don't know if it's a scam thing. I would hope not. That's a pretty crappy thing to scam.
Yes.
But I think it's almost a given. I think any university would probably step out and do that. But yes, that is super cool of Danny White if it is true. Allegedly it is. Yeah, I mean, anything we can do to help out that family. And yes, there's death across America everywhere. I get that. But I think the biggest difference here is the way that Charlie impacted so many lives across the country. And it feels a little bit closer to home than most. And so, yeah, country needs a reset, needs to understand it. At the end of the day, left, right, middle, whatever, you got to be good people. At the end of the day, left and right doesn't matter if you're not a good person at heart. So, yeah, right on. But we got some ball to talk about, Michael. Give us the rundown tonight before the dogs come into town.
So tonight's rundown, we are going to briefly talk about the ETSU game from this past Saturday. A big victory for the Vols in that one, as expected. Find out just the little things that we might have learned from that. But the main focus is going to be in segment 2, which is going to be talking all about this matchup between Tennessee and Georgia with College Gameday in town once again. Segment 3, we're going to give our predictions for week 3. Give our upset picks of the week. Shout out Skylar for getting his correct last week. And then also We're bringing back Jake Arnold once again. Still not a fantastic week, but a 3-2 week. That's a winner. That's a winner. So.
We just making the comeback slowly but surely. Come on, Jake, lock in here.
Yeah, hey, we're sitting 500 for the year right now, regular Jake. So I mean, that's better than losing at this point. But before we go any further, Skylar, would you give us our presenting show sponsor?
Absolutely, it's Chris Smith Insurance. As a homeowner, Chris Smith was once let down by an insurance company, so he started his own agency where instead of feeling like a big company is fighting against you, you'll know that your agent is fighting for you. All insurance is not equal. Trust the Chris Smith Insurance today. Give him a call right here in Oak Ridge at 865-272-3387. Again, guys, Chris isn't just going to find you the best rates, right? Which he can do, but he's going to find you the best rates at the best coverage, because at the end of the day, you want that peace of mind to know that if things do go south, you want to make sure everything's covered. And that's why you have Chris. And Chris supports us, and we support Chris. Thank you so much for your continued support of the Vol Fanatics Show. Yeah, segment 1. And we're going to be talking about a recap. It's going to be kind of brief, but before we get into that, will you let us know who our segment 1 sponsor is?
Yeah, our segment 1 sponsor, it is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. You can contact Jeff Mull at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. So don't have a graphic right away on this. I'm still finishing it up, but Tennessee final score 72-17. Fantastic.
What's crazy about this game being 72 to 17? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It didn't even feel like it was a record-breaking. In my opinion, it didn't feel like it was a record-breaking offense. Now, I was like, man, can we get to 70? Can we get to 70? And we did, but I don't know. It's just like we handled business so well so early that the second half almost felt a little lackluster because we got in the backups. I mean, I think the biggest compliment in this game, going into the game plan, what we said we wanted to see, and that's the fact that Joey Aguilar didn't play a snap in the second half. And that's what you wanted to see. But overall, yeah, record day on Rocky Top. We're kind of late to the news breaking that down as we do go live on Thursday, but 72 points, the most in the modern era. I guess the BCS, playoff era. I think they did score more than that way back in the day, but overall, what a day that was kind of expected. I don't think anybody expects 70 burger, but overall, as far as handling your opponent, doing what you needed to do, Tennessee did just that last Saturday.
Yeah, and you know what stands out to me? It's the amount of rushing yards that Tennessee gave up in this game. They only gave up 49 rushing yards in this game, which, you can sit here and say all day long, it's ETSU, man. Don't take anything from that. Anytime you hold any opponent to under 100 rushing yards in a game, and really in this case under 50, that's something that should be noted, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, we already know that this D-line's really physical. The front seven in general is really good, top of the country in my opinion. But you did what you had to do against ETSU, severely less talented. They played good. I mean, they play hard. I'm not going to sit here and trash talk a team that just had no shot in this game. Let's be honest. If Tennessee was going to lose this game, it would have been Tennessee beating themselves more than ETSU doing it. But What I liked is I felt like at least this last week we stayed a little bit more healthy than we did in week 1. Now, obviously, we still have some questionable players. We do have some people out this week against Georgia. But overall, a little bit better of a job staying healthy, less cramps. And, like I said, having the starters, most of the starters. Defensively, we still played a few rotational guys, in the second half. But overall, you did what you had to do. You scored a lot of points. You held them to little to nothing. You did make their quarterbacks have to kind of run or throw the ball, which is the perfect game plan. And what I hope to see, which is what I said last week, is what's going to translate to Georgia. What are some of the play calls defensively and offensively that's going to work against Georgia? And it's hard to tell, right now what is going to translate. But I tell you what, I think the running game's going to. What I'm seeing out of Star Thomas, Deshaun Bishop, and Peyton Lewis, is exactly what I think a lot of people expected. And I just hope they keep that up against SEC play, against the offensive line, albeit without our 5-star tackle, is looking great. Keeping Joey protected. Joey's doing a good job of extended plays too when the pocket does collapse down on him. But overall, I just hope that is what translates, is this running game and the offensive line staying physical at the front.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And finally getting this this graphic pulled up here. Give me just a second. Place. Add. There we go. Got the graphic pulled up.
We had 717 yards.
41 first downs.
Yo.
We scored 24 points apiece in the first and the second quarters, 14 in the third, and 10 in the fourth.
We seriously had 717 yards.
717. That's insane numbers there.
I watched the game, guys, I promise, but I was actually watching another game right after this one that I'm so happy about. We'll talk about it later. All right. No, 717 yards is astronomical. No, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to harp on ETSU. It has a Syracuse symbol, by the way. FYI.
I changed the one up top. That's the one that matters.
But no, yeah, I mean, great game. Chris Brazel's looking good. Winning the one-on-ones. Again, the cornerbacks not as big as what he's going to be facing this week. I'll tell you who looks good that's not on this graphic here. Colton Hood.
He's Hood.
Physical. So physical corner. He's going to get called, and it's going to make me mad. But I like the fact that he's challenging the refs, because you have to. You got to figure out what the refs are going to call, and then from there adjust how you're going to play. But as of right now, he is not losing the one-on-one. The 50-50 ball is more like 80-20 Colton Hood winning it. So I like what I'm seeing out of Colton Hood.
All right, so listen to this cornerback duo that Tennessee has so far this season. Now, take this with a grain of salt. They played Syracuse and ETSU, but Colton Hood has according to PFF College, that's Pro Football Focus, Colton Hood has an 83 coverage grade. He has allowed 5 yards receiving this year so far, which is a 36 passer rating allowed. Now, on the other side, Ty Redmond, an 81.2 coverage grade, 48 yards allowed, and a 50.6 passer rating allowed so far. Say what you want, no matter who the opponent is, those are fantastic numbers.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And I don't think that in this game against Georgia, that is gonna be just insanely different. I think that Georgia could and can expose some things in this secondary with Colton Hood and Ty Redmond and others, but I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. I think what you've seen so far is what you're going to see most of the season from these Tennessee quarters.
Here's what I'm proud of. You've seen a lot of teams not necessarily handle business against inferior opponents. And this is not even a shot at Georgia. I feel like Georgia's pretty much handled their. I know the scores not necessarily look great, but like in no way, shape, form, or fashion were they ever in fear of losing a game this year. But like LSU, after beating Clemson, looked horrible last week. And USF, I think, is a good team, but Florida losing USF, which everybody thought was a guaranteed win for Florida, except for me. There's teams out there, Alabama in week 1, losing to FSU. Now, again, FSU may be a better team than we're giving them credit for, but there's teams out there that are losing and not handling business the way they need to. And Tennessee has literally left zero doubt in the tank right now.
Yep. That's what you got to do.
I think that's what you got to take away from this. You know, Joey Aguilar coming in, taking over the offense, and basically having 3 to 4 weeks of practice with this team and basically taking off with it excites me. He's going to get his first test, and we're going to break down the game here in a little bit, but Tennessee versus ETSU, it literally was fun to watch. It was good to see the offense do its thing, the defense do its thing, but I'm telling you, the wide receivers are impressing me. Star Thomas, I think, is winning me over. I like Deshaun Bishop, don't get me wrong, but Star Thomas is looking just like a star. Can't wait to see what he does against Georgia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, had the 3 touchdowns this past
Yes.
week against ETSU.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking good.
His
And
vision's just really good too. I mean, his cutbacks, his spin moves, like everything's just it looks good.
yeah, and we haven't mentioned Peyton Lewis. That's not to say that Peyton Lewis is doing bad. That's just these other 2 guys, especially you mentioned Star Thomas, they're just looking so good right now. So I
Yeah.
mean, I love this running back room. Um, John says it's the best chance in a decade for y'all to beat Georgia. Going to be a great game. And
Boy, his tone has changed, hasn't it?
a little
Welcome
bit.
back, John. No, I don't like the whole like best chance to win because at the end of the day, in my opinion, I do think the matchup is way better this year. But at the end of the day, in SEC, like you start 0-0 every year. Like you go out there, every team's got to play. And this year, I think what helps us is you don't have 5 first rounders on Georgia's defense this year. And Tennessee on the flip side, at least roster wise, I think that's what he's getting at. Roster wise, we are still definitely at a deficit to Georgia, but the gap isn't as large. So I think he's spot on. This is one of our best chances. I will say this. It's our best chance under Heupel. And I think this is a big test for Heupel himself. I think him looking himself in the mirror as a coach, like what are the things that he hasn't done since he's been here? Albeit he's done some great things, but one thing he hasn't done is beat Georgia. I think that's going to be a big thing. But we're going to break down that game here in the next segment, which honestly, if you ain't got much more on ETSU, we can go right into it if you want.
I was going to say, I'm good to head right into this Georgia matchup because, I mean, bottom line against ETSU, you did exactly what you needed to do. You took care of business, and you mentioned the most important thing. Joey Aguilar did not take a snap in the second half, which is exactly what you needed. You needed them to let him get his reps in the first half and then get him out of the game. And you got a lot of starters out of the game at that point to make sure that they did not get hurt moving forward, so that they could be there for the Georgia game this week. So love what I saw from Tennessee. Can't take a lot from it, but what you can take from it is that they took care of business. That's right. Bottom line there.
Right on. Well, we're going to get right into the breakdown of the prediction of Tennessee, Georgia. And before I do that, I want to let you guys know who our segment 2 sponsor is, and that is P&L Business Services. We know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper, guys. Again, just do yourself a favor and stay on top of the customer service, but let P&L Business handle the behind the scenes. There is no sense in stressing out about payroll and taxes when you've got folks to take care of. So what you need to do is go online right now, go to pnlbusinessservices.com and just shoot them a message. Get signed up. Let them help you. And we appreciate them for supporting the show. And by the way, I said right now, but you can wait till after the show. I mean, that's fine. But no, I'm joking. We appreciate them so much. And yeah, we got Tennessee, Georgia coming up this week. And really in a couple days. 2 more sleeps. This is the game of the weekend. You got Game Day is going to be there. Knoxville. This is what it's all about. Like this is, we say college football at its absolute best, and you're getting it. Georgia at Tennessee, very well be like the winner of this game is driver's seat of achieving everything they want to achieve in this year. I mean, there's no East versus West anymore, but Georgia versus Tennessee is about as good as you're going to get as far as like who's going to be the front runner of the East, and I think it's going to live up to the billing. You've seen earlier, if you're watching the lines, Georgia opened up as over a touchdown favorite in this game. And oh my goodness, had the lines corrected. They are now only a 3.5 point favorite in this game. Scares me a little bit. That's more for Kirby to use as ammunition to say how much they doubt Georgia. But at the end of the day, I think people are realizing that all the question marks that Tennessee had going into this year, they're slowly getting answered. And we won't completely have them answered until after this game, I think, in my opinion. But Michael, what are your thoughts initially?
Oh, yeah. I have to completely agree with what John said earlier, that this is the best chance, and you mentioned it, in the Heupel era that Tennessee has had to beat Georgia. And, everyone thought in 22, whenever Tennessee had the high-flying offense, you're coming off a fresh off of a number 1 ranking in the initial college football playoff rankings that you and I, if I'm not mistaken, both said on the show probably should not have happened. Or no, this is before we actually started doing the show. Yeah, this is before we were actually together. But I know I said it myself. Tennessee should not be number 1. They should not have jumped from, I think they were at like number 3, number 4, all the way up to number 1 during the initial college football playoff rankings. And I wasn't confident that Tennessee would beat Georgia because of the fact that Georgia's defense was elite.
Yeah.
And they proved it in that game. Now, I wasn't a believer in Georgia's offense that year, but they looked pretty good against Tennessee, and they did just enough. And the defense completely shut Tennessee down. This is a different Georgia team. This is a different Tennessee team. I feel much better about this contest. But I'll be honest, Skylar, we're less than 30 minutes away from making our picks. I don't know who I'm going to pick in this contest yet. I really don't.
That's fair. I mean, I know who I'm picking. I mean, I'm a Vol for life. I mean, that come on. No, I have some points to give, if we do lose, because, we're going to discuss it a little bit later, but I know I'm in the lead. It's all good.
Okay, here we go.
All right. So here's my thing about Tennessee, Georgia, and precisely, it's more along the Kirby Smart's always had an answer for an offense.
Yeah.
So for me to sit here and say, man, our offense is cooking, we're going to go in there and score 30 points, and Georgia's going to have to keep up. Yeah, scratch that. If you have a Vol fan that's saying that, they don't know ball. Especially they don't know Georgia ball, because Kirby Smart, no matter how good our offenses have been, they've had an answer for it. Now, if they prove me wrong and they score 40 in this game, my goodness, I am jumping off the walls and I'm going to buy a lotto ticket. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not expecting this to be a firework-heavy game. I mean, John, he commented right here. He said 27-24, a late score to, could go either way. I'm not saying that. But I think he's spot on. Like, the score it's going to be low. I don't see this being, I don't know. I think this is going to be a heavy defensive game. And I think this is where you really see both offenses shake the rust. If it's going to be the first offense that can shake it the fastest, that I think is going to come up on top, because Georgia, we've seen them look lackluster. I'm not going to really punish them for last week. Let's be honest. It was rainy. They got in a weather delay, and it was Austin Peay. And I know them players didn't really feel the buzz, feel the juice. Well, in this game, they're going to feel the freaking juice. Like, they're coming to Knoxville. Like, I'm not worried about Georgia lackluster or whatever. Like, I've seen some of the headlines. That's bullcrap. I'm not feeding into that. Tennessee's going to have to beat Georgia. Georgia's not going to give this game away. Here's what I think people are sleeping on, and I know I'm not. Gunnar Stockton and his run game. Our third down defense and Gunnar Stockton's run game, like extending the plays, 3rd and 7, and he ends up breaking a tackle, maybe it could be a sack, right? This is what I could see happening several times Saturday. We are arm tackling, trying to get a sack. We missed the sack, and then Gunnar Stockton picks up the first down with his legs and extends the drive. I see that happening, and I don't know how we're going to be able to adjust and react to that. And I think that's going to bode a problem that I've not seen a lot of people talk about that, but Gunnar Stockton's an athlete, and that's something that we're going to have to look for. And I think that's where you're going to need Arion Carter and T. Lander and Edwin Spillman to step in as that spy, or really to stay home to make sure that we don't break contain and allow that to happen.
And another thing that I think Tennessee's got to do is they've got to confuse Gunnar Stockton.
100%.
Tim Banks, he's great at sending different pressures, showing different looks in the secondary as well. And that's going to be a key on Saturdays. You've got to confuse Gunnar Stockton, because he's a young quarterback. He's a talented quarterback, but he's a young quarterback that he's still new to the college game. So you can confuse him. He's not like, and I'll just throw Joey Aguilar out there just because of the experience he has in college football. It's going to be harder to confuse Joey Aguilar as far as the reads and everything go than it will Gunnar Stockton, or even like a Jake Merklinger or somebody like that, because of the experience that Aguilar has. So that's exactly what Tennessee's got to do. You got to throw different looks in the secondary as far as coverages. You got to send different blitzes. Everyone keeps talking about, and I love the play, the Arion Carter, deke out against against Syracuse. Dropping Arion into coverage numerous times during that game, and then all of a sudden on 3rd down and long, he fakes like he's dropping back and then just makes a beeline between the center and the guard, untouched for the sack. You're going to have to bring looks like that right there. Bring some safety blitzes, some corner blitzes, something like that to try to get Gunnar Stockton uncomfortable in the backfield.
That's right. So I'm looking now here at Georgia's roster and their lineup, whatnot, but I'm looking at the rushing attack. I don't know if it looks like Nate Frazier and Dwight Phillips are. It looks like Nate Frazier's the RB1. He's got 25 carries for 116 yards. He's only averaging 4.6 a carry. Not bad. He's got 2 touchdowns. But Dwight Phillips is almost averaging 10 yards a carry, but only has 115 yards on the season. And like I said, with the competition they've been playing, I don't know how those are not better numbers.
The Georgia rushing numbers are very lackluster.
I understand they've had some injuries on the offensive line. And oh wow, we got Ben Gregg up in the live chat saying 27-24 Vols, baby. So look, 27-24 is exactly what John said.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm telling you, everybody's kind of honed in. I think they understand that this is not going to be a high-flying shootout game. I don't think anybody really would think that anyways, but it shouldn't be at least. But rushing the ball, I don't know if it's the running backs. I don't know if it's the offensive line being banged up for Georgia, but definitely a lackluster, and I will use that term for the rushing game. I think Gunnar Stockton's going to need help there. But again, you got Gunnar Stockton, who's rushed 15 times himself for nearly 90 yards. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. And he's also added in 2 rushing touchdowns on the year as well. So, like, I'm telling you, having a running quarterback has been one of them things that hurt Tennessee in the past. That it's got me scared. I don't think Gunnar's the passer that Georgia's had in the past, but I think he may make up for it with his legs.
Yeah, I think he very well could. I mean, he's going to have to, in my opinion, for Georgia to really take it to the next level against Tennessee. But if Tennessee
tonight, I see it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We welcome
make sure that you do leave a like on the video and give us a subscribe. You might not watch another one of our videos, but it does help us out. We're not going to send you out a bunch of notifications or anything like that. But if you give us a subscribe on the YouTube page, it helps us out. And you can just go back to ignoring us the rest of the season if you want to. But appreciate you tuning in tonight, all Dog fans. But yeah, especially if Tennessee is able to shut down Georgia's run game as far as the running backs go. If Gunnar Stockton is not able to get it going or doesn't want to get it going, if he's trying to rely on his arm, then that makes them one-dimensional. And I think that a one-dimensional Georgia team is great news for Tennessee in this contest. Now, I think that Georgia's going to have some success on the ground, but, Tennessee is great and statistically has been great the entire time under Josh Heupel as far as run stop.
Yeah.
So I'm not too concerned about that, but I think the secondary is going to get a little bit of a test this Saturday.
Yeah. Here's a question that I have for you and Dog fans. Is the tight end game still there for Georgia? Brock Bowers gone. I'm seeing here in their stats, and it doesn't look like they're really involved in the passing game. You got Oscar Delp. He's gotten 2 catches for 33 yards for the season. And he does not have a touchdown. And then I guess Elise Williams, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but Williams, tight end, it looks like the backup tight end maybe. He's got 1 catch for 23 yards and a touchdown. So I don't know, but like I know like in the past, Georgia's been very tight end friendly, tight end heavy. I'm afraid that maybe that could hinder their offense moving forward. He said, John said, your 2 seniority backs haven't played for Georgia this year, Josh McGray and Robinson, Also, right side of line missing 2 starters. Not excuses, just valid points. Running game is definitely lacking, though. Yeah, I knew y'all's offense took a hit on the offensive line. I did not realize that you had 2, I would say upperclassmen guys out as far as running back game goes. I want to say that one of them's probable or questionable to come back this week. I've seen the initial injury report, and it sounds like y'all are getting some guys back. So he said the potential is there, but no one stepped up. Barber last week was the stud, broke ankle. Talent is there, but I don't know. Dang. So, yeah, Georgia, I will say this, though. Every team, it sounds like already through 2 weeks, kind of an injury bug. LSU, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee. I mean, you're seeing Alabama even with, that 18-year-old now, Ron Williams. He had a concussion against Florida State. So,
Who?
huh?
Who?
All right. Yeah. You pulling my card out now. No, but I
That's
mean,
right.
seriously, like people are getting hurt left and right. And that's another variable that coaches are having to kind of work at as far as keeping guys healthy. I mean, that's definitely a big part of college football. So,
Yeah, and I do feel like that Oscar Delp has kind of been a little bit of a disappointment to this point. Because when he first came in, Brock Bowers was still here, and it's like, man, look at this guy that is coming in behind Brock Bowers. That Georgia's not going to fall off at the tight end position. They've got a guy that's coming in with the same type of build as him. Not saying that the production is going to be there, but surely we can get something out of him. And so far to this point, he hasn't produced the way that fans have expected him to. So it's been a little bit of a disappointment there. I do think that you will see better production as the season comes along. Just right now, it's not quite there.
no, I completely understand. I think overall, this is the clash of two top tier SEC teams. I think you're looking at two of the top 5 in the SEC going at it head to head here this week. I'm going to stick to my guns and saying that I think the loser of this game, depending on how they lose, definitely still in the fight to whatever they need to achieve this year. With the expanded playoff, one loss doesn't necessarily kill a team's chances of the season. I don't know what to expect as far as who's going to step up defensively, and more so defensively on the line for Tennessee. We've had some injuries, D-line, especially in the middle of that line. Who's going to step up and help take over? Because Georgia's front's going to be physical. Who's going to step up and really be that foundation, that solid, brick of a defensive line interior guy that's going to stand his ground, fight off a double team, whatever he needs to do to stuff that running game. I mean, do you have a guy in mind that you think? Does Jackson Moy come back this week? He's questionable.
Yeah, he's questionable right now. Let's see,
Nate
West.
Robinson obviously has been stepping up, but is he really the guy that we need to rely on to be that guy? I don't know.
Yeah, so it's big right now. 2 of Tennessee's bigger name guys in the interior are questionable coming into this game. You got Tyree Weathersby. I know he kind of plays more towards the edge some, but he's questionable. Jackson Moy is questionable right now. You got David Hobbs is out for
He's
this
out.
contest.
That hurts, man.
So yeah, that hurts a lot. I don't know who that guy is going to be, but I do think that I do think this is the chance for somebody to step up, because we have not seen it so far this year. The defensive line group is a position group coming into this season. And it's like, I'm not worried about them. They're deep, and look at his talent. Granted, some of it is young, but look at what we got on this line. I'm not worried about Rodney Garner's group. And now with the injuries, it's just like, and how deep are we really? And how good are we going to be on this defensive line? And this is going to be the first real test.
I'm calling him out. I need Dominic Bailey to step up. I need to get completely healthy. If he's playing, I need him to step up and be a dog on that interior. On the edge, I need Jordan Ross to step up. I need him to be a dog with I don't know, to help assist Joshua Josephs at Leo, whatever. But I need some of those guys to step up and be a dog. Bryson Eason, again, hurt. I'm not going to say injured, but maybe hurt. I need these guys to get right because our D-line is good when they're all healthy and they're deep and they're rotating. Like I was talking about it in the offseason, that they rotate kind of like Kim Caldwell's basketball team. They just rotating 3 guys, 4 guys at a time every 3 or 4 plays. But no, I need some of these guys to get healthy and be there, because I'm telling you, Georgia's offensive line, albeit banged up a little bit this year, I still think they're going to be hard to handle and hard to deal with. And we need to make sure we assert the physicality. We need to bring the physicality to them. That way, the Neyland effect really is in full effect. Because if Georgia can't block and they can't hear, that's how you're going to get those false starts, because they're going to need to feel like they need to get that step ahead of our defense. And I'm telling you, that's what brings it all together. We need the crowd in it, and then we need our defense to really bring that physicality. And John even, he backs you up in this comment here. He said That is how you beat Georgia. Make them one-dimensional. Gunner, I didn't know this. Gunner has more passes under 5 yards than any other quarterback in the country. So definitely dunking the ball down, dinking and dunking. I think that may have to do with Kirby. I don't know if this is a real thing. I've never played Division I SEC college football, but a part of me thinks that they're not trying to show too much on the film. I do think, I think Georgia's going to come out firing, passing the ball, because I think it's something that they just haven't seen this year. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Kirby could be, playing games there, but overall, it's still, the fact's a fact. Make Georgia one-dimensional. I think that's everybody's game plan going into a game, but really, it's how well are we going to be able to handle man, and then if we do drop to zone, is Georgia going to be able to pick out those soft spots like a lot of teams do find out on Tennessee's defense, which makes it so frustrating. You call it out all the time. The zone defense is terrible. Why do we do it? Well, we do it so that we have numbers in the box for the run game. And if the run's not there, obviously, because the RPO is the exact reason why we do zone. Because if you're doing man and your guy runs a big, deked out post route, well, he just took you completely out of the run play and you never even realized it. So, I mean, I completely understand why they do zone, but overall, I really looking forward to the matchups. I do think this game is going to be won, as most SEC games are. But up front, can we expose the weak side of the line for Georgia? And conversely, will our guys get healthy on the defensive line to be able to do that? I'm actually uber confident in our offensive line.
So here's one thing that concerns me about our offensive line. Georgia's defensive line, they're very good as far as doing the stunts, doing the pre-snap movement and all that. So even though our offensive line has impressed most of this season, how are some of these inexperienced guys going to react to this pre-snap movement at the last second? Is it going to cause some false starts on our end because of this pre-snap movement? I think a guy like Sam Pendleton and even Wendell Moe, that, they've got experience at that Power 5 level. I think they can handle it well, but have they gone up against teams that, do this pre-snap movement like this? I know Pendleton did against Georgia last year in the playoffs, so he might be better suited for it. But Jackson Moy, he hasn't seen this. Lance Hurd, wasn't he hurt for the Georgia game last year, or maybe limited availability?
Lance Hurd played a lot hurt last year. I don't know if he was completely out of the game, but he played almost the whole season hurt, and I don't think he got enough credit for that.
So, I mean, how much experience does he have against this pre-snap movement like this?
Here's one thing that Georgia's going to be careful of. The pre-snap jump or stunts is one thing. If they flinch, like they think the ball's going to be, height, there's a new rule now that if the refs catches that, that could be a delay of game, or I don't know if it's a false start on the defense now.
I think it'd be called a delay of game, kind of like, mimicking the snap count sort of thing.
Yeah, like a stunt is one thing. That's not what they're trying to crack down. But they're trying to crack down on a defensive player flinching, as if they were expecting the ball to be hiked and it wasn't, which can cause the offensive line to move. I've seen that rule change. I don't know how much they're going to enforce it, but I am curious to see how they handle it. Because I do think it kind of, I don't know if it really affects the game. I'm a big believer that even if somebody jumps off sides, if they get back before the ball snapped, they should have that right to do so. I feel like defense is already at such a disadvantage in today's game that try to let them win in certain scenarios. But overall, I'm curious to see how that works. And like you said, our offensive line's got to keep their composure during that. We can't be false starting. We can't beat ourselves. We can't let penalties and stuff like that get the best of us. We really have to utilize the crowd and minimize the mistakes in this game and protect the ball. Both teams done a great job protecting the ball. Can't have turnovers in this game. Tennessee's had a couple fumbles. Gotta clean that up. I think both instances, or no, one was a RPO where Joey and the running back fumbled it. The other instance was a bad snap. We got to clean that up. And conversely, look, so both quarterbacks for these teams have not been sacked yet. Yeah. That is going to change.
Yeah, it for sure will.
It's going to change. Don't have a strip sack fumble. Like don't allow that unless it's Georgia. Then yes, we want that all day long. But when the boo boos happen, when the uh-ohs happen, protect the ball, take the sack. I mean, a 7-yard loss in this game is so much better than a turnover. So Do what you got to do. Take your losses when they come, but capitalize on the other team's mistakes. That's going to be the key to the game.
Yeah. So Tennessee wins this game if.
I think Tennessee wins this game if they win the turnover margin and they don't allow 125 rushing yards. So if it's 125 or less rushing, and the reason why it's at 125 and not 100 is because I do think Gunner's going to have some rushing yards, and I think that's going to kind of spike the running game up a little bit. But if you can force Gunner to be a passer in this game, I don't know if I'm a believer in Gunner as a passer. I'm a believer in Gunner as a playmaker. But how accurate is he in the pocket? You know, basically make Gunner Peyton Manning. And I hate to make him sound like compare it like that, but Peyton Manning never really was a threat with his legs. But how well is Gunner literally stuck in the pocket? Can we contain him to stay there and make him literally pass the ball down the middle of the field, hit your perfect out routes, ball on time, on target? Can we do that to Gunner? Because I don't think I believe in him in his accuracy that much. So I think Tennessee wins if they hold Georgia less than 125 and rushing and win the turnover margin.
Yeah, so the turnover margin obviously is one thing that we need to look at as a key to victory. You always want to win that margin there.
That's a good point.
I do think that Kevin brings up a good point here. But you
Josh
know what?
Heupel is what, 51-2 or something like that when we rush over 200 yards.
But you know what? I'm gonna take this a step further here, and I won't quite say 200 yards, but I think that your rushing numbers and your passing numbers need to be like it was during that 22 season, to
Just
where
completely
it's
50-50.
It's 50-50.
That's how Tennessee's been this entire year, though. I think even playing the competition they played, they've got. Yards wise passing, they've got 705 yards passing to 505 yards rushing. Touchdowns though, 7 rushing touchdowns, 7 passing touchdowns. Let's see, attempts maybe only 80 attempts passing, 88 attempts running. So really, really close to being 50-50 right now as it is. And I think that's Tennessee's game plan. Everybody knows Tennessee wants to run the ball, and it's complementary to the pass game. So we got Carrie in the YouTube saying, don't sleep on Gunner's passing ability. Well, I want to find out. Like, that's the thing, is I don't want to lose on the running game. I'd rather lose to Gunner having to pass it on us. And kind of like, and I'm going to throw a bone here to Georgia, and maybe you don't like it, but Carson Beck beat us last year because he threw some dimes. And we got to see him, because that's something that he had not done last year really too well. In fact, he had, I think, 2 games last year. We had 3 interceptions in a game. And so I'm like, yes, let's force Carson Beck to throw the ball. And to his credit, they did. And I look bad, but whatever. That's the way that I feel like we have the chance to beat Georgia is to make Gunner Stockton kind of pull off that type of performance.
Yeah, you've got to make Gunner Stockton beat you. You cannot let the other guys around Gunner Stockton beat you.
Kevin saying it. I mentioned this earlier, but third down defense, man. And this is where Gunner's legs scare me. But third down defense, and most importantly, third and long down defense, because it's such a gut wrench, like a soul crusher when you get a team to 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, and then they pick it up, and it's like, dang, like you really thought you're about to get off the field there. But yeah, we got to hit Gunner 100%.
Yep, absolutely. As far as defensive side of the ball goes,
yeah, let's see it.
You've got to keep doing what you've been doing all season long. You've got to, and it's really been Tim Banks and Josh Heupel's play style the entire time is bend, don't break. We've seen that numerous times throughout Josh Heupel's era, and you've had some defenses that have broken. But I think that this defense, because of some of the question marks, especially on the defensive line with the injuries and things, that you can bend, let them get down the field, but don't break. Give up field goals, not touchdowns. And I think our secondary and our linebacker group, they're built for that right there. You're not seeing the big plays for touchdowns that you did back in the 22 season, back in the 21 season, and even early on in the 23 season. You're seeing, 10, 15, maybe 20-yard gains instead of, broken tackle, 40, 50-yard, 60-yard touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's what we need to see.
No, I completely agree. So, are we going to make our pick now, or are we going to wait for the pick segment?
I'm going to wait for the pick segment because I'm still trying to decide.
All right.
I'm back and forth on this.
I'm nervous. I do think it's going to be low scoring, but I'm just really nervous about Gunner's legs, man. And that's not even me sleeping on him as a passer. It's just more of like if he ends up being that all-around guy where he's making the throws, he's making the reads, and on a broken play, he can pick up a first down with his leg. Like that is, I mean, that's scaring me to death. And then I don't think anybody's talking about that enough. And I think he has that type of game to him. And I think Joey does too, but I don't know. I just Joey's on our team, so I'm not as worried about it.
Yeah, so we've done what does Tennessee wins this game if. I know we're not experts on Georgia or anything, but Georgia wins this game if.
I'm going to keep it simple. If Gunner's that guy. If he ends up having that game. I mean, it literally happened last year with Carson Beck where he was that guy. Making the throws, being a baller. If Gunner ends up being that guy and just really hard to bring down, hitting his throws as well to where we can't just play man. I don't know. I feel like that's how Georgia wins. I think defensively on both sides of the ball, they're going to be good. But if Gunner's making plays, it's going to be hard to beat Georgia. It's going to be hard to beat Georgia regardless. But
yeah, so I do think that you hit it there that Gunner Stockton has got to be that guy. He's got to make the plays. He's got to when the plays are available to him, when the passes are there, he's got to put it in the correct spot, and then his receivers have got to make sure that they make those plays.
Yeah.
As far as the defensive side of the ball goes for Georgia, the way that you beat Tennessee is you got to shut down the run game, and you've got to make Joey Aguilar go out there and beat you with his arm.
That's right.
And here's what I will say. Even though he is unproven, I think that Joey can go out there and he can win you a game where, Nico could not do that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Carrie brings up a good point on YouTube. By the way, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Said might just come down to a special teams play. Nobody's talking about that. The reason why I'm not talking about that is I disagree. I mean, yes, of course, special teams is very important, but I think both of these teams are smart enough to not allow that to happen. Like you're going to see kickoffs be touchbacks. You're going to see punts hang in the air or aimed out of bounds. Like I just don't feel like these teams are going to allow the returners to make a splash play like that unless it comes down to the end of and you're trying to kill time or something. So you kick it inbounds and then you get punished that way. I don't know, but I just think these teams are smart enough and they've got talented and experienced enough punters and kickers to know, don't even give them a chance. Like it's better to kick it only 50 yards and out of bounds rather than kick it 57 yards and they have a chance to return it. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. It ain't worth $1. I get that. But
see, I'm actually going to go a different direction than what you did with the special teams. When you get the chance to kick field goals, you got to make them because all right,
100%.
how many
field
scores
goals is a different story, and that's 100%.
How many
right.
scores have we seen so far that have been 3 points? We got a 27-24 from John earlier. We had Kevin say 27-24, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And I've got a score prediction that's very field goal heavy. So like I completely get. And Kevin even said like, hey, this is how we won the A&M game. Is you pinned them back deep with a punt. You went 3 and out and then punted it to D. Williams where he took it almost to the house. No, he did take it to the house and won the game on that. So yes, I completely hear you guys. I get that. I don't know. Like it's definitely possible. I just think these teams are smart enough to not allow that to happen.
Yeah, as far as the punts and everything goes, I mean, obviously field position helps win ball games. So I mean, I'm with you on that. But I've also got a score prediction, and this goes for whether Georgia wins or Tennessee wins. I think that the final score of this game, I think that over-under is almost 100% on. I think that the spread is almost 100% on as far as what that point spread is going to be. Now, whether or not Georgia wins or Tennessee wins is a different story. I've got the final score as 30-27, which is why I think the special teams is going to be huge because that right there, that's a heavy field goal contest for both teams.
I think it's too much points.
You're probably saying, what, 20-17?
A little bit more than that.
23-20?
Close. You're all the way around it. My score prediction is 23-17.
23-17.
But
So
I'll tell you
you've got a little bit bigger spread then.
bigger spread between the teams, but it's just a touchdown. It's literally 6 points. Like,
Yeah.
But no, like I said, it's field goal heavy. I think field position is going to be very key in this game. So, now, you got anything else before we get into our pick segment, which I know everybody wants to see, and I'm kind of jacked because I had a great week last week. So, I don't know, man. You got anything else on this game?
No, it's just a huge game. I
do want Georgia fans to know that Dylan Sampson is no longer a part of this offense, but we got some good running backs.
Yeah, we've got.
I can stand firm on that. Now, if we get shut down, we get shut down. Georgia's got a good defense, but don't think that we're not going to have a running game just because SEC Player of the Year is no longer with us.
Now, here's what I will say, and Georgia fans, you might get mad about this. I've got a buddy that's a Georgia fan that says this Georgia defense is going to rival that 22 defense, and I cannot disagree more. I think that Georgia's still got a really good defense. I do. That's one of Kirby Smart's calling cards each and every year is they've got a good defense. But this defense is nowhere near that 22 defense. That defense was one of the best defenses I've ever seen, and they proved it against one of the best Tennessee offenses of all time. It's not going to be that good this year.
I agree. All right.
Now, let's get in. Let's make some picks. But before we do that, I will give you our segment 3 sponsor, and that is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at KaizenPainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So,
hold up.
I'll say I don't have our record graphic pulled up yet, but I will have that.
Talk about mail service. Slid it under my door. Let's go.
How about that? You were talking about.
I told you
that before we got started.
The wife slid it under the door. I was like, hey. So, no, right on. All right, pick segment. That's what I'm talking about. Kevin said it is going to take all 3 phases of the game, and I agree with that. John saying the talent is there, and they have the speed, but 22 was elite. They won't be like 22. I agree. 22 was insane. I mean, have 5 first-rounders on the defense alone. Sheesh. But, all right. Where are we getting started? And I hope you're taking notes and whatnot because I have not been keeping up with it. So I hope you know exactly where our score stands and whatnot and all that. So
I've got it. I will say I'm still actually working on some graphics, which is why I was trying to drag that other segment out a little bit.
I'm sorry. You were trying to drag it out?
No, you're good. We can drag some of these picks out, but obviously we got to keep a little bit of a time constraint too. But first game that we got, it is Temple going against Oklahoma. It's a game last year that coming into it was looking like that Oklahoma would be on upset alert. I don't know if I feel the same this year. That 22.5 point spread. I like John Mateer. That defense is still good. I still have some questions around Oklahoma, but I think that they win this game.
I agree with you 100%. I think John Mateer is going to throw an interception, but he's probably going to have 4 touchdowns with it, so it's not going to matter. He's such a playmaker and gunslinger that there will be a mistake. There's going to be a tip ball or something because he's just going to throw it all around. But I think he's a baller. I think he's living up to the billing of the offseason. So, in fact, right now, if there was a Heisman Trophy handed out to somebody right now, I think it's far and away John Mateer. So, give me Oklahoma as well.
All right, so both of us with Oklahoma in that one. So the next contest, it is the ABC matchup between. Get this pulled up. I'm having to upload all of these as I do them. It is Wisconsin going up against Alabama. Alabama, 22.5 point favorite at home. What say you in this game?
I mean, it's Alabama. Alabama's going to win. That's not what I'm grimacing about. I'm grimacing about, like, I'm surprised they're 23-point favorites. It's a steep number. I mean, I get they beat the brakes off of whoever 73-0 last week, but, like, I mean, it was a revenge game for Alabama. They had to get right. So I don't know. Wisconsin, I think, is unfortunately they're walking into the tie, which they're probably still avenging that week 1 loss. So I do think Alabama's going to be angry, but I don't know about 23-point spread. I don't know. Maybe Wisconsin's just not as good. Lou Fickell, I guess, has not really made that turn that I think Wisconsin was hoping for, but the Tide is going to win.
Yeah, I agree. Alabama's going to win, but I'm also with you. That 22.5-point spread right there, that's a big number. And Alabama, yeah, they looked good last week against UL Monroe, but it's UL Monroe, man. They looked awful against Florida State. And I don't think they're going to look that bad. I think that they figured some things out once they went back and looked at the film for that Florida State game. But there's still a lot of things that I think that Alabama's got to get right before I feel comfortable about them covering a spread like this against a Big Ten team. Granted, maybe a lower tier Big Ten team compared to what they used to be. But ultimately, Alabama does get a win in this contest.
That's what I'm talking about.
So the next one, I'm going to pull it up here as well. It is South Alabama going up against Auburn. And Auburn is a 24.5-point favorite in this game.
Yeah, give me Auburn by a lot. Jackson Arnold is coming around, and I think he's being the playmaker that I think Hugh Freeze saw in him, and that's why he went and pursued him in the offseason. And he's playing good ball. I mean, he might need to clean up some things here and there, but overall, he's got Auburn in a good spot, and this is exactly where Hugh Freeze wants to be at the beginning of the year. Give me Auburn.
Yeah, so do you think it was just a change of scenery that Jackson Arnold needed to succeed? Do you think?
Well, I mean, change of scenery, yeah, but I think it's really the Oklahoma staff just crushed his confidence. Crushed it. I think after the way they treated him for the Tennessee game when Tennessee was really playing great. Now, yes, Jackson Arnold was putting the ball in harm's way, but dude, I mean, it was his first year starting, and that was his first legit, team that he played that year. Yeah, he showed some struggles, but he's a young quarterback. I think most people do. And just the way they handled that situation just completely crushed Jackson. So yeah, I think it's a change in scenery, but overall, I think he's always been that good or had the potential to be great. But when you crush a guy's confidence like that, I mean, you see what it can do to a quarterback.
Yeah, completely agree with you there. So I do have Auburn winning this game. South Alabama's not the worst Group of 5 team, but I do think that Auburn does cover that spread to win that game. So next one, this won't take very long at all. It is Louisiana going up against Missouri. Missouri in this contest is a 27.5-point favorite. Let me say this about Mizzou. I was down on them coming into this year because of what all they lost. Bo Pribula looks good, man.
He looks good.
I think good. Now, I still don't think that Missouri is going to be a college football playoff contender this year, but they look good. I think that they're going to have another 9-3 year, especially with that schedule that they've got. And I think that this game against the Raging Cajuns is going to help with that. So I do have Missouri in this game, and I got Missouri big in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Missouri's going to take this one with ease.
All right, so next one. This is the big one. It is Georgia. It is Tennessee. 3:30 Eastern on SEC or on ABC. Georgia a 4-point favorite. The total sitting right at 50.
And you still don't know, so do you want me to go first here?
Go ahead with it.
All right. I think this is a game that, like I mentioned, it's going to be low scoring. I've already given you my score prediction of 23-17. So, yeah, I've got the winning team kicking 3 field goals, 2 touchdowns. Got the losing team doing 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. And I'm going to ride with Tennessee. I'm a Vol fan through and through. I think this is their best chance to get it done. But I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think there's going to be turnovers maybe on both sides of the ball. I think there's going to be frustrating moments, but I think that's what makes football so beautiful, and I think that's what makes a sport, this conference, and this game what it is. And I think overall we could be losing. Let's see, what would it be? And I hate to say that, but I just feel like our red zone offense is going to struggle a little bit. But I think overall our defense is going to keep us in this game, and that's why I got us winning. So I would take the under here. But technically take Tennessee to upset Georgia via mild upset. But it would be nice to get the win in the first time. And it's been 8 years. It's hard to believe, but it's been since the Dobb nail boot in Athens in 2016 since we've beaten Georgia. It's time to change that and break that streak. If not now, then when, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, here's what makes me nervous. And I wasn't really nervous about it in 22 because how many people did you see having Tennessee upsetting Georgia in 22? There's a lot of people that did that. I was not one of them because I knew the issues that Tennessee had on defense. I knew how good Georgia's defense was as well. But what makes me nervous about this game is the fact that I think Tennessee has got the defense and I think they've got the offense. I still am nervous about Georgia's offense and their defense, but it's the amount of people that are saying Tennessee's got it in the bag. And like you said, if not now, when? And Georgia's also got Kirby Smart, who is, now that Nick Saban is gone, he is the best coach in college football. Some people might say Ryan Day. It's not Ryan Day. Kirby Smart has that title right now. And I said at the beginning of the year that I cannot pick Tennessee to win against Georgia until I see it happen. But you know what? Give me the Vols.
Hey, there he is. Come on, let's go.
Tennessee's winning this game. I already gave my score prediction. And, you can call me a homer all you want to. But I do think that Tennessee can win this game. And I agree. If not now, when?
Well, I'm sticking to my guns here. In the preseason, I said I think Tennessee's got a better chance of beating Georgia, and I'm actually still going to stick with this. I think Tennessee's got a better chance of beating Georgia than they do of beating Alabama or Florida on the road. I know that sounds dumb because we obviously know that Alabama and Florida have lost already this year, but I still think between the three, it's hard to believe this, but we've actually beaten Georgia on the road. In less time than it's been since we've beaten Alabama on the road or Florida on the road. So, no, I like the pick. We might get humbled Saturday, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and you said the biggest X factor. It's the game is at home.
Yep.
It's not on the road. And
Mike Madden, stop with the disrespect, dude. Come on now. That's not going to happen.
No, this is going to be a close contest. Now, I can
not going to be 20 point. It might be 2 touchdowns, but it ain't going to be 20 point.
I don't even think it's going to be 2 touchdowns.
It could. I can see it late if we're trying to make a play in a pick six or a scoop and score, whatever. But
I can see a path to a 10-point victory for either team.
Yeah.
I don't see it being bigger than that. I think this is going to be a close contest all the way down to the end.
That's what we hope.
Either team could win. But for me, what the biggest X factor is in all of this, who's going to be that game day picker?
Candace
Parker. It's going to be Candace Parker, man. Candace Parker is coming back. She's going to be on game day. Tennessee's going to win just because of that right there. Just like they won because of Peyton back in 22 against Alabama.
Broke the curse. He broke the curse.
Yes. Tennessee is winning this contest.
I agree. I like it a lot. What's next on the docket? We got some good games coming up.
All right, so the next one, this is not going to be one of those games as it is is UTEP going up against Texas. Texas is a 40-point favorite in this contest.
Well,
I don't know why that -4 is right there beside it, but it's 40-point favorite. Total is at 52. Here's what I'll say about Texas. Arch Manning looked good against whoever it was that they played last week. But, it was also it wasn't Ohio State.
Was you watching the same guy I was watching? I thought he struggled at first, man. But no, it's all right.
So
he had good numbers. But.
He did it first. But then, after that initial struggle, he took them on 4 straight touchdown drives. You're not gonna acknowledge the comment there?
Georgia wins. This come in from John Austin Legg. If Georgia wins, Skylar shaves the beard and goes babyface ? JK. Yeah. So the thing is the beard is actually off limits. My wife would actually divorce me if I freaking shaved it.
Yeah, my wife said the same thing, which is why that's not going to be the punishment this year.
But I mean, I'll confirm with the wife. I've gone bald once in my life. I don't mind shaving my head if we lose, but I'll circle back with you on that. So, I mean, I feel like 1 for 1. Like, I mean, if I do that, I feel like you have to do the same if Tennessee wins, though. So, I mean, we'll discuss. We'll discuss. Go ahead. No, I think Texas is going to be fine against UTEP.
Yeah, Texas wins this game. I'm still not a full believer in Arch Manning. I think he's still got a lot of work that he's got to do, but I think he's going to be fine this year overall, and especially in this game. He should be out of this game. If not by halftime, then for sure, after the first drive in the third quarter.
I'm getting shots taking at my hair, dude. I've got a lot of hair. Come on now. What are you talking about? Look, I've been letting it grow out. Like, come on. It's a lot of hair. It's a lot. You lucky you didn't catch me on a day where I had it all spiked up looking good. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking. I get it. It's fine. I mean, it's a lot of hair to me. Sorry, I don't have like a mullet or anything, but it's fine. Yeah, exactly. I can shave my head because I can keep a hat on. Yeah, exactly. You know what? Shut up. This is supposed to be like an enticing bet here. Come on. Yeah, Texas wins easily. Who's next?
All right, next contest.
John said his hair wouldn't grow back. I was kind of afraid mine wouldn't either, but no, we're here.
Yeah, next contest, it is going to be Alcorn State going up against Mississippi State. This game is in Starkville. And what about Mississippi State last week? Big victory against big victory against Arizona State. You did get that one.
He said like you didn't want. Yeah. Oh, what a victory. And the way it happened. I mean, they gave up that touchdown late in the game and you're just like, wow. This is how it is. And then they went down the field. I mean, like in 40 seconds of game clock and hit the long touchdown of like 70-something yards. What a game.
Here's what I will say, though, about that game. We both like we like watching the Eric Ainge show. And they have a little segment on Tuesdays they like to call Clean It Up. Mississippi State fans, clean it up. Why are we rushing the field against Arizona State?
Dude, It was a top 15 win for a team that literally have gone winless like 3 straight years. That's totally valid.
What has Arizona State done other than make the playoffs?
They made the playoff last year.
One time.
No, I completely disagree with you. I completely wholeheartedly disagree with you. They beat they were 12th ranked in the country, and Mississippi State hasn't won a conference game in like 3 years, much less a ranked win. No, completely agree with you.
Make the field storming against a conference opponent after you beat them this year.
No, because they're not going to get it. I completely disagree with you, 100%.
Clean it up, Mississippi State.
And watch us. If we beat Georgia on Saturday, I mean, our fans are going to storm the field. Are you going to say clean it up?
Yes, because we have beaten Georgia in the last 10 years. This isn't Alabama 15 years of misery. This is Georgia.
It's 8 years of misery. It's kind of, 8 to 15. What the hell? Excuse me. What's the difference?
There's a big difference.
Whatever. What? You're only saying this to get Mississippi State rushing the field was a thing of beauty. Absolutely not. No, I agree. We shouldn't rush the field Saturday if we win, but it's probably going to happen. Just FYI. Shouldn't, but
I'm going to come on here next week and say Tennessee fans.
And I'll say the same thing, but you're talking about a team that's literally, what did they go last year? 2-10? I think the last couple of seasons. Do it for Mike Leach. Rush the field. I don't care. It's fine. I completely disagree with you.
Mississippi State does win this contest, though.
Yeah, I agree. I just really disagree with your take there.
Next one, we are getting into some good games now, as we've got Arkansas going up against Ole Miss. And thank you, Jade. Jade, I completely agree with your take there. We have to be used to winning.
We're not used to winning. Come on.
Look, we're at the point now after that Alabama field storm. So the first time, I was completely in favor of it.
Second time was kind of weird.
Yeah, second time
it was almost like the second time was like, man, we thought we missed out last time, so we got to do it this time. Like, no, like that was dumb. Arkansas Ole Miss, though, is enticing. 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Arkansas at Ole Miss. I'm going to let you go first here. Ole Miss, 7-point favorite.
So, Ole Miss did not impress me at all against Kentucky.
They sure did, but they didn't.
Austin
last
Simmons.
either.
Yeah. I mean, they got beaten that last one.
I know, but I'm just saying that didn't necessarily define Ole Miss as a team, though.
That's true. Austin Simmons also questionable coming into this contest as well. Arkansas, granted, they have not played the best competition starting off. They have not looked bad. Taylor Green has actually looked really good so far, and they've done something that Tennessee has done. They have handled their business so far in the games that they have played. I think that Sam Pittman's still coaching for his job at this point. They've got a lot to play for. Lane Kiffin's job is safe. No matter what happens in this game, no matter what happens this season, his job is safe. I think Arkansas needs it more. I'm going to take Arkansas to get the upset in this contest.
Attaboy. I'm going to take Ole Miss just because they're at home. I think it means a little bit more in the Grove and at night. I think it's hard for any team to go on the road at night and win in the SEC. So give me Ole Miss. I'm gonna take the safe pick here. But I do applaud you for going with Arkansas. That would be a huge win for Sam.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to make up some points. It might not be this week. I've got plenty of time. I've got plenty of time to make up some points.
No, you got plenty of time to keep losing grounds. What you got? Don't worry, because I've already got my upset pick, dude. I'm telling you, I'm on a roll here.
Yeah, I mean, I've got plenty of time to make up points, and I will make up points.
Oh.
And this could be one of those spots where I make up some
points.
Chat,
clip it. Let's revisit this next week.
We'll revisit it
after I hit my upset pick of the week. No, I'm joking. All right, what's next on the docket?
So next one is another big game. This is Florida against LSU, and we're at the point. Let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about that Florida USF game.
You sure you want to talk about it? Because I nailed this pick. Oh, I'm so proud of myself.
You did, and I give you complete credit for it.
Thank you.
But
not a lot of comments did.
I also do want to throw myself a slight bit of a bone. I did not say that South Florida would win. I give you complete credit for that. But I did say that South Florida was going to keep it close. I did not believe that 17.5-point spread was anywhere near close enough. It should have been like a 9.5, 10-point spread coming into the contest. And I still might have taken South Florida to cover it. I thought that it would be close all the way down to the wire. But, I mean, like I said, I give you complete credit. I did not think that they would go into Gainesville, Florida, and win that game. But I will also turn it around and I will say this. That game told me a lot more about South Florida than it did about Florida. I still think Florida is a good team. Now, they're not as good as I originally thought they were, but I think they're still a good team. Where I have questions is Billy Napier. The play calling in that contest was awful, man. It was terrible. But South Florida played a heck of a game, and they came out there and they got a win where they needed it. And they've got another big contest this weekend as well. But I think that game told me more about South Florida than it did Florida itself. But I'm still going to take LSU to win this game.
I'll try not to do this with you, Michael, but I couldn't disagree 100% more than what you just said. I think the plays were there. The execution was just terrible. There was so many plays Florida had that they just choked away. One that stands right out to me is there was a play, and I think they ended up scoring on this drive, so maybe it's not the best example, but there was a play where they had a tight end kind of late release, but then they also had a crossing route, and it was a complete busted coverage. It was a 2-on-1 for Florida, and DJ Lagway kind of floats the ball up, and it ends up not being caught, even though there was 2 Florida receivers in the area and only one defense. I'm just telling you, like, the plays were there to be made. There was another play and another drive, and this one I think is a drive that they did not score on, where they had a wheel route from the running back, and they had another crosser route, maybe 5-yard, drag route, and DJ throws the 50-50 ball to the bubble because what wheel route is not open in college football, right? Well, he overthrew the thing by like 6 yards in the back of the end zone when the drag route was wide open on a 3rd and 15. there was plays to be made for Florida, and the execution was just not there. I think Billy, maybe, yes, he made some weird coaching decisions, but overall, I think the team's got to perform better. And this is what I said, word for word, in my pick was, I think USF is going to upset Florida. And look, I don't think Florida's a bad team. I think this is just a bad spot. USF in this schedule is like the only team not ranked in this schedule. And so Florida Gators, players, fans, whatever, I think it's more on the players, but they're looking at their schedule and being like, okay, this is our one easy game. And I don't know if that's actually how they think. Obviously, coach speak, it's 1 week at a time. We're just looking to go 1-0, whatever. But as a player, you're looking at that schedule. It's like, okay, this is our one game that we know we can win or easily win, whatever. And then USF bit them in the mouth. And what USF did is they smelled blood in the water in the fourth quarter, and they pounced on it. So at the end of the day, yeah, I think Florida's fine. I don't think Billy Napier necessarily coached a terrible game. I think the execution's got to be 10 times better. DJ Lagway actually did not play well. I was pretty disappointed in his game.
You're 100% right on that. He did not play well in that game at all.
But here's the big question for Florida. As much as I want to harp on them losing last week, because boy, was it a beautiful thing. Are they going to bounce back and get the win against LSU and save Billy Napier's coaching career again for another couple weeks? I mean, look, at the end of the day, no matter how bad Florida is this year, they're not going to fire Billy in the middle of the season. I don't think it makes any sense with how hard that schedule is. If you come in with an interim coach, it just doesn't make sense. So I don't think Billy's going to get fired midseason. I think the decision could be made midseason, but he's not going to know until at the end of the year. But if he can come back and beat LSU and then USF being ranked like they are, like it almost validates the loss a little bit. I don't know. I'm very interested. They're a touchdown dog here. I am going to take LSU to win, but I think this is a really good game. I'm going to be locked in to this game.
Here's what I also say.
Rondo, good to have you back. Said we need old Billy Boy to stay.
I mean, I agree with that. Billy staying, that's a benefit to us.
That's right.
But, here's what I'll say, kind of talking about LSU for a second. I'm not a believer in LSU's offense.
I agree with that.
But that defense is dang good.
And
I think Florida's defense is good too, which is why I think it's going to be a very good, low-scoring ball game throughout the entire thing that I think LSU ends up winning late. But until I see that that LSU offense get going, I'm not going to be a believer in them. And Garrett Nussmeier sure isn't living up to that Heisman hype that he had.
I never understood that to begin with. I just love how you're like, I don't know. I was kind of expecting you pick Florida there.
I mean, I won't say I've lost all faith in Florida, but I have.
Can I say this? Alex Golish is not going to Florida. That is not going to happen. Period. I don't care how the stars align. He's not going to Florida.
Is this the point where we start talking about Lane Kiffin going to Florida again?
I think that's a better chance. But Alex Golish and what he's doing at USF, it makes no sense because, one, he can achieve everything he needs to achieve now with the new playoff format. And he's already built his system there. I'm telling you, like, he's not going to Florida. He's not.
I will say this, though. I don't think he stays at USF forever just because.
No, I don't think that's his career job. But I'm just saying he's not going to Florida.
I mean, and do you think that there's a shot USF moves up to, I'd say it'd probably be the Pac-12 just
or the
because
ACC or something. Yeah.
But does the ACC add anymore right now?
Well, it could be like if the ACC loses a team and needs to pick up some. I don't know. John says, I hate Brian Kelly, but as a Georgia fan, he hates the Gators more. Give him LSU. I like
there
it.
You go. All right. So next contest, it's another big one. There's some good games this weekend overall.
South Carolina Vanderbilt? Who's next?
That one's actually going to be last. It's the last ball game.
I'm telling you, that's a game I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that's going to be a very underrated game when you look at some of the other games. But this one, it is Texas A&M on the road at South Bend. That game is on NBC. I did not have the NBC logo downloaded, so I couldn't put it down there like I have with the others. But Notre Dame a 6.5-point favorite in this contest.
You want me to go first here?
Go for it.
A&M.
I knew I shouldn't let
You
go
told
first
me.
on that one.
And Notre Dame being a favorite here is actually, I think it's because they're home, but it's still puzzling that they're a touchdown favorite. I don't think I think Notre Dame's defense is good, and I think they're physical, but I think A&M gets revenge here. I could be misreading this game completely, but I don't think Notre Dame's impressive, man. Give me A&M. Give me the Aggies.
All right, so because I do have to make up some games,
I knew I was going to put you in this position. Let's go.
I-
It might
I'm
actually
going-
work in your favor, though. It might work in your favor, though.
I was gonna say this one might work in my favor, so I'm gonna make an argument for both sides because I was going to come into this picking Texas A&M, and here's what I'll say: both of these teams have really good defenses, and defenses win championships. But what wins ball games? Good quarterback play, and I think that you're going to get better quarterback play from Marcel Reed than you are going to
100%.
be from Notre Dame's quarterback, which is
100%.
why I think the Texas A&M could win the game. Now, I'm going to spin this the other way because I am going to pick Notre Dame. I think that
They still
defense
got
for Notre Dame
Jeremiah
is really
Love.
good. They still got Jeremiah Love at running back. Granted, he hasn't shown a ton so far this year, but he's still really good. And I think that young quarterback that Notre Dame has, he's got talent. And we saw a little bit of it in that Miami game at the first game of the season, but he's got a long way to go. Could this be the game where he gets it right? Maybe. So I am going to take Notre Dame in this game, but I think that's going to be probably a field goal type game too. I don't think it's going to be that 6.5 points that we're showing right there. So
Jade, you did miss your opportunity to say Wisconsin's going to beat Alabama, but that is okay. You can definitely say it now. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right, so the next one I do not have a graphic for because I did not have Eastern Michigan's logo downloaded in time. It is Eastern Michigan going up against Kentucky. Let me see if I have a line on
am I
that
pulling
game.
Eastern Michigan here, or
So Kentucky is a 24.5 point favorite in this game.
yeah, Kentucky's going to win.
Kentucky's going to win, but I'm not confident in Kentucky to cover that big of a spread. Can they score 24 points is the question.
I don't know. I really don't. Could Notre Dame do like last year? I wonder what that means. Like, unless she's saying lose to A&M, but then just like
I think what she's saying is, lose one game on the schedule like they did last year to Northern Illinois. They lost to Miami already. Can they do like last year, lose that game and run the table and make the playoffs and possibly the national championship game? I don't know if they can this
But
year.
here's the thing: A&M is pretty much the last team sending in their way, ain't it? Like, they don't really have another.
They've got a fairly easy schedule the rest
That's what I'm
of the
saying.
way.
Like, let me look that up. Actually, this is an SEC pod, mostly for Vols, but I'm gonna look it up. But as far as the game, Kentucky's gonna win. I ain't really worried about. I'm looking it up. So they played Miami, and they lost in week 1. And then they got A&M, and then it's Purdue. They do play Arkansas in week 5. Oh, and they play USC. No, they're not doing it. Nope. They play. That's about it, though. That's about it. They play Navy in week 11. So I mean, they really got A&M. They play Arkansas. Let me go from the start. It's A&M week 3, and then it's Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, North Carolina State, USC, Boston College, Navy, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, and Stanford to end the year. So really, Arkansas and USC are the only other 2 games, in my opinion, that stand out because USC is actually playing really good ball right now. But I think the other teams, they pretty much roll. I ain't really worried about it. So no, I think Notre Dame. I see another loss on the schedule for Notre Dame. I just don't know where. Yeah, well, A&M. All right.
Let's see. All right. So next one on the schedule. I believe this is the last game. So this is the big one that you were talking about. It's Vanderbilt going up against South Carolina.
And Williams-Brice at night, dude, on the SEC network. Sorry, I just kind of started under there.
Yeah. South Carolina has dropped to a 3.5 point favorite in this one.
I'll let you take it first because I don't want the excuse to be like, oh, you pick first. But like, I'm just trying to share the love here.
What just happened?
You cleared the graphic. It's okay.
There we go.
All right. I'll
All
let
right,
you pick
yeah.
first. I don't want to, hinder your pick on this one. I want to make sure you get who you want.
All right. So South Carolina has not been impressive so far this season. Kind of a lackluster performance against Virginia Tech, and Vanderbilt just completely dominated Virginia Tech.
Yes, you're right.
But
They have. It's weird that they have a common opponent, right? Like in week 3, they literally have a common opponent. You can literally see how one team did it with Virginia Tech and how the other team did. So that is a key to this pick, right? Maybe
it's a key to this pick, but here's what I'll also say. Because Vanderbilt looked good. Now, they struggled a little bit at first against Virginia Tech, but, man, that third quarter, especially the fourth quarter.
I was going to say, they kind of got bullied in the first half. I mean, Virginia Tech
did they look good. Once they got going in that second half, and they looked fantastic.
Diego
Pavia looks good. The running back, Alexander, he looks good as well.
I don't know if it was as much as, like, they took over or if they scored us, whatever, and then Virginia Tech they just kind of look like they shut down. Like, my goodness. Looked like a completely different team. So... But either way, yeah. Vanderbilt beating Virginia Tech. I think it was like 44-20-ish. South Carolina struggled with Virginia Tech. I think it was like 23-11, or it was a weird score.
Yeah. The biggest factor for me in this is, and people probably hate me for saying this, it's Williams-Brice and it's at night. If this game was an afternoon game,
I'm telling you,
I might pick Vanderbilt to get the upset here, but strange things happen.
Winning on the road at night. And Williams-Brice, especially for this type of game, very underrated environment. I'll give them that.
Yes. Yes, for sure. I think that Vanderbilt is playing better ball than South Carolina right now, but I think that South Carolina ends up getting the victory in this game.
I love that you picked that pick because it doesn't change my pick at all. I'm taking Vanderbilt to win this game solely because it's a hedge bet. I want them to lose, but because I want them to lose, I think they're going to win. So give me Vanderbilt to win, and if they do, I just hate that I got to hear them actually say that they playing for championships. I don't know. But give me Vanderbilt to win here. They are playing some good ball. I don't mind picking Vanderbilt in this game, but I would like South Carolina to punch them in the mouth. That would be nice. So, yeah, give me Vanderbilt. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. All right, so last thing before we bring Jake on, it is upset pick of the week. I do have the updated standings, and Skylar has taking a 6-game lead. See, if I did my math correctly, you had a 15-1 week last week. That only loss was
I literally only missed the
you picked Virginia Tech over Vandy.
That's it. Vanderbilt was the only pick that I missed. Oh, shout out the 3-4-3 there. Okay. 34-3. That was my racing number. If y'all don't know, like that number one. Whoa. Number one plate right there on the wall. Let's go. Race dirt bikes. Get wrecked. All right. What a standing. Less losses and more win. Can we take a screen? Hang on. Let me take a picture of that. Let me just zoom in here. Just look at you smiling too. That's good.
Take a picture now while you still can. So.
What do you mean, brother? I'm 2-0 in this. All right. Thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate that. She said, nice job, as if I needed. No, I'm joking. I stay humble. I'm a humble guy. I'm just really blessed to have the opportunity to do this with you. Yes, I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to do this with you. I'm just happy that I'm having such a great year because I just knew I was losing this year. Anyways, upset pick of the week time. Are you going first? You want me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Ooh, Jay brought up a great point. My record is 34-3, and today's date is 9/11. Look at that. It's crazy how the world works. For y'all that don't know, 343 was my racing number because that was how many firefighters we lost in 9/11. And my brother actually raced the 9/11, so it was kind of cool going to the track each weekend and representing the way we did. So, all right. My upset pick of the week, and unfortunately, my sportsbook app, I was on it too long. It closed on me. I don't remember who they're playing, but it's New Mexico. New Mexico State is playing a team. They're a 10-point dog.
Give me just a second. I'll have that for you because I've got
Please
mine open.
I wasn't
Mexico State playing Louisiana Tech.
Yes, and Louisiana Tech's 10-point favorite. LA Tech did play LSU very well, and I think that's why they're the 10-point favorite. But New Mexico State's not playing terrible ball either. So Give me New Mexico State to upset LA Tech. I'm feeling good about that one. It's a game that nobody cares about, but because I picked it, I'm going to be watching it. So there's that.
Here's what I will say. I thought that you might be riding high off that USF one and be like, all right, they beat Florida.
I thought about it.
They're gonna turn around and they're gonna beat Miami.
I thought about it, but that's
week.
Exactly why Miami's absolutely they're gonna murder it at US. I just don't feel like that's gonna be a close game. I really don't. I think USF's gonna have a little bit of a hangover. I think, in my opinion.
I think they could. Here's what I will say. I think that USF is actually going to cover, but
they could.
But I think Miami is going to win the game. All right, but my pick, and I love both of our picks are kind of off the radar type games because my pick is going to be Texas State plus 17 against Arizona State.
I looked at that game. That's a good pick. I like it.
Yeah, I don't.
If Arizona State loses that game, though, man.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in Arizona State this year after that Mississippi State game, and I think that they have a hangover loss after getting beat by Mississippi State the way that they did.
How would they handle the coaching situation? Would that put him on the warm seat there? I'm telling you, that would be a terrible loss. As if Mississippi State wasn't one.
Yeah. I'm not sure where that would put them, but yeah, I've got Texas State plus 17 against Arizona State.
I love it. Jade said my upset pick of the week, Wisconsin.
I'm not gonna lie. I looked at that game there. I did, but especially after week one, I was like, man, I'm gonna be coming in to this game here, and I'm gonna pick Wisconsin to upset them. But then after, I know you can't take much for that UL Monroe game, and after that game, I was like, Alabama looked better. So.
I guess. Well, right on cue. It is that time. It is time to rake with Jake. Let's bring him on as he is still showing
Jake
offline.
Arnold offline.
I don't know what's going on here.
All right, give me just.
It does this every time. I don't know what's going on here. Can we get the video here?
Yeah,
it shouldn't be that hard, guys.
I don't know why it doesn't.
So for some reason, every time you sign in, it adds you as a new guest instead of a returning guest. So I have to change it every time.
That's amazing because every year I'm a new me. I mean, every week it's amazing.
Well, I hope you're a new you because we need to get hot, Jake.
Guys, at the end of the day, we went positive. If you made my bets, you put even units, you made money last week, okay?
I like when people comment because it splats it right over your face. I like that. All right.
Hey, I asked them to. Guys, I want to first start by saying I appreciate all the viewers. I mean, I see we've got quite a few right now. I mean, we're getting close to 50 concurrent right now, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, just a little bit about last week. I want to say I'll never bet Kentucky and Ole Miss ever again.
Dude, that backdoor cover hurt, bro.
Oh,
we should have been 4-1. I'll give you that. We should. And I got so excited when Ole Miss got that last touchdown, and I'm like, all right, we're good. And then Kentucky does that, dude. That was
it's
what
disgusting.
What
it's
a bad
disgusting. Now, granted, UConn helped me out by covering by 7 with the -6.5 I took them. I see we don't give the bonus bets. I did also say I thought Oklahoma would handle business against Michigan, but we'll leave that to the side.
So do we want to do 4-2 then? I do remember that.
No.
I've already changed the graphics.
We're gonna keep it where it's at, guys. I feel really confident about this week, and as I did more research, really my process is pretty simple. I go with my gut. And then I dig in and I say, do I really want this one? Well, absolutely. Absolutely, I want these. By all means, this is one of my most confident ones. The only one I have is going to be kind of a teaser. But I want to start off with one. My buddy Shaw, he's in the chat. I see him, teasing T over here. I have number 1, Florida at LSU -7. This one is. If you watched Florida, I'm going to say something. I completely think Florida showed what type of team they are, and it starts with Billy Napier. The guy has done a terrible job. I truly mean that was the worst 7 minutes of game that I've ever seen, from execution to player responsibility and accountability, and then play calling. There were a lot of out routes thrown. I saw an out route thrown, I think 4 minutes left, and I'm thinking to myself, if you're Florida with the lead, you're going to throw a ball that not only if it gets incomplete stops the clock, but you are leading it out of bounds to stop the clock. Unreal job. It's crazy. Shaw, I want to give some backstory on him if we can pull him up. My friend Shaw here is a avid Florida fan. We talked after the game, very upset with Billy Napier. I think I would be even more upset with Strickland because I have to guess that those guys have a relationship out of the just the casual work one. It's insane. Rhonda, you're absolutely right. It is crazy what he has been
Isn't
able to
it
do.
so beautiful?
That is
It's
right
so
there
good.
is the most parallel thing I've ever seen. He is awful.
20 and 20.
Is that his record right now?
20 and 20.
And we came in this year talking about a playoff spot. Absolutely disgusting. Florida, the only thing that they do is they play the most vanilla ball I've ever seen.
Against the hardest schedule we've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean they've got a gauntlet. They could go 5-7. Now granted, they have the ability to go 10-2 if anybody else was coaching them. So again, LSU, they've taken a step forward. Florida's taken a step back. They got very fortunate to get, I think, 6 or 5 straight at the back end of the season. Florida's very lucky that they're balanced. They've got a pretty even team. They're more productive in the pass, but I just don't know why. I can't figure it out. One interesting fact is Florida has, I believe, 1 rushing touchdown on the season. That's pretty disgusting. LSU is not any better as far as when you look at the stats, but at least LSU's played somebody. And you'll see again, I'm going to discredit that USF win a lot when it comes to what happened there. That SFU, whatever I said, USF, whatever the team is. USF's an okay team. That is not a top 15 team, probably not even a top 25 team. Shaw, you're absolutely right. If one loss Florida comes in and they can get through that gauntlet, they are in the playoffs. They're probably the number 2 team in the country. Too bad that you have some Big Ten team that's going to end up undefeated. That's the sad truth. But again, LSU's coming into this game. They've played Clemson, a great team when it comes to defensive ball. I mean, that's what they wanted to go back to. That's what Brian Kelly's about. They're averaging 360 yards a game, but they're only averaging about 20 points a game. Something's got to give. I love the linebackers for LSU. They're very fast. They're going to be able to stop what Billy Napier's trying to do. I think that they're older, so they're going to be able to recognize these shifts really quickly. I have no question, honestly, unless there's some magic here. I think this is probably
not to cut you off, but I did. Sorry. What blows my mind with Florida is we talk about blue chip ratio in college football a lot. Like you got to have a certain ratio to even be in contention of championship ball, right?
Yeah.
What if I told you Florida still, even as bad as the last 3-4 years have been, have a better blue chip ratio? Now, for folks that don't know what that means 4 or 5 star players in a ratio versus like 3 stars or below. Florida's blue chip ratio as of this year is still at 52% of their rosters 4 or 5 star players. That has you above the likes of, tied with Clemson and Auburn, but above Oklahoma, Michigan, Florida State, USC, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Missouri. I mean, like, it's so many teams that they're above that you're like, man, other teams are having so much better years and look better than Florida.
Well,
and it does kind
sad.
of, it goes back to Billy Napier.
It's sad. And the worst part about it is you could be sleeping as the Florida head coach and land a 5-star in your back door, in your backyard.
That's right.
It's very, very sad what he's doing with that talent. They have all the ability to be a top 10 team. They should be a top 10 team, but they've just regressed. I don't know what's going on in that locker room. I think when your offensive or your athletic director gets involved with having to talk about it, it's bad.
the comments.
Again, hey guys, I want to go back to Shaw. This guy is a diehard Florida fan living in Tennessee. He is going to take all the hate. He is on the train. If you're a Florida fan, you have to get rid of Billy Napier. It's sickening. Again, this is the easiest pick to me. LSU is going to come out. It's at LSU. I'm going to take them by -7. I'd probably go up as far as, just to tease it, -13.5. So
Ooh.
I don't
You're
think this
taking
is a
a
close.
full 2 touchdowns.
I think the locker rooms are lost.
That's what I'm
yeah.
afraid of for Florida. Or
Yeah.
for Florida is all out. If they come back and beat LSU or even just make it close, then I at least know that he hasn't lost the locker room.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
game will show us if he has or not.
Oh, it's a litmus test. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's here to show you exactly what's going on. My second pick is surprisingly one of my most confident picks. So I've got Oregon minus 27.5 at Northwestern. An absolute
that's
mauling.
a big spread, my boy.
Massive. So just to give you a little framework as to what Oregon's doing, they're averaging 64 points a game. Granted, they played nobody.
That's it?
They played nobody.
Tennessee's doing that. I mean,
Well, yeah, Tennessee's up there.
59, but whatever. I mean,
Regardless, Oregon is getting 282 rushing yards a game. All I think about is all the studs they got around the perimeter on offense and defense. They had, I think they're allowing less than 150 passing yards a game, less than 100 rushing yards a game. But again, they've played nobody. But guess what? Notre Dame's a nobody. Notre Dame is a nobody. They've got
Notre Dame.
whatever. Let's cool that.
It ain't whatever. That's a big
All right,
difference
let's
there.
clip that up.
Don't clip that. Don't clip that.
Hang on.
Clip that for the views.
Here's what I will say to piggyback on that. I have been calling it since February that Oregon's going to win the Natty this year. I'm saying it now, and I'm going to continue to say it. I'm a believer that Oregon is going to win the Natty. I do think that they're a complete team. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, this is the.
We'll
best
find
Oregon
out.
team.
They've not played really anybody, but I'm telling you, Oregon looks good.
So Jake has called his shot. He said Penn State's going to win it. Skylar has called his shot saying Oregon's going to win it. You know what? Tennessee's winning the Natty this year, guys.
This guy. And we just lost all of our viewers. There it is. All right. No, I like the pick, though. Oregon shows no mercy to their and that's why I think I like this pick, is because even if they're winning by like 24 in the fourth quarter, they're going to get another touchdown.
If Heupel were to ever, God, I pray this never happens, but if Heupel were to ever leave, Dan Lanning is like the poster child of what I want as our coach. Michael, I know you said that you love Kirby Smart. You think he's the best coach in college football. Dan Lanning, to me, if you're looking at recruiting, you're looking at HR, you're looking at PR.
He took the low hanging fruit there.
I had to. I think I've done this a couple of weeks now. I apologize. I think that looking at what Northwestern is, they had against Tulane, their quarterback alone had 6 turnovers, threw for 4 picks and lost 2 fumbles. They rushed for 76 yards against Tulane. Tulane ran for 270 yards against Northwestern, if you exclude the sacks. It is going to be a bloodbath. I don't know how this isn't 40. I don't know how this isn't 40.
I agree.
I know it's a Power 4 team. Northwestern, they want to take smart guys. Well, smart guys don't run fast and hit hard. So, again, Oregon minus 27.5 is my most confident bet going into this. I really like this one a lot. I might have said Florida was, but the more I think about how bad Northwestern is, it's pretty bad.
Real quick, Shaw asked if you have any futures bets, like at least for conference winners.
Yeah, as far as conference winners,
Oregon.
if you're wanting to cash out, if we're talking SEC, I like Oklahoma. I think that Oklahoma, with their schedule,
but then like win. Week 8, cash it out.
Yeah. I think they've got a staunch defense. They've got a quarterback playing for their guys, and they've got a favorable schedule moving forward. So you should see value there. I mean, everybody's going to take Texas, Georgia, LSU. There's some other teams in there. I'm sure Ole Miss maybe have a little bit better odds. I don't know after the stupid Kentucky loss that I had, but whatever. I digress. I really like that. If Tennessee wins, I don't. You're going to hate me saying this because I'm a homer. I don't think if Tennessee beats Georgia that you need to take that bet just yet. I think that you're going to see the value because of the way Tennessee fans bet is going to go sharp towards losing us money. Sadly, we are a gold mine to Vegas. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can see how volatile this line has been. It's kind of correcting itself with Georgia. So not to say that determines the outcome of the game on Saturday, but I really like Oklahoma. That's the big one to me. I think that they're playing some really high level ball. Going into my third one, and we can even talk about futures in this in a little bit. I love Clemson -3 at Georgia Tech. There's a big part that I don't think a lot of people are remembering. Clemson's going to get back to business. they've beaten in the last 5 years Georgia Tech by an average margin of 15 points. Clemson's only had 4 touchdowns all season, and they only ran for 31 yards against LSU. That's not like them. They're going to be able to run the ball. Georgia Tech has, not even half of the amount of talent that LSU does on the D line. So, Clemson doesn't. Yeah, Georgia Tech doesn't have half the talent on the D line that LSU did. So they're going to be a lot more favorable. It's going to set up Cade Klubnik. He's not going to have to roll out every other down. Georgia Tech, they're without their starting running back. Keep that in mind. This guy, Jamal Haynes, not Haynes King, Jamal Haynes, he is a beast. That guy, to me, is one of the top running backs off the board. When you start looking at NFL guys, he's averaging 6.3 yards per rush. That is a stupid amount. My buddy Robbie, coming in saying that the Yellow Jackets are going to beat Dabo into that stupid rock. No chance. Good news is, ain't going to happen because they're going to beat them. They're going to come into your crib and take over your crib because it's at Georgia Tech. I hate to tell you, it's not great. They can't throw. They threw for a little over 150 yards against Colorado. Colorado turned the ball over twice, and they barely lost to Colorado, or they barely won against Colorado. I just think that Haynes King will be the best player on the field. No chance. I can name about 7 Clemson players on both sides of the ball.
You are drunk. No shot.
Who are
you
talking
keep
to?
doubt you.
Me?
You doubted Georgia Tech in week 1 and they proved you wrong.
No,
Didn't
Georgia Tech week 1. Let me go back. I have my notes here.
Okay.
Let's see. Week 1.
I thought you said something about Georgia Tech in week 1.
No. Clemson proved me wrong. I'm bouncing back. I'm hard buying Clemson stock right now. We got to remember this Clemson line is thinner against Georgia Tech than it was against LSU.
That is fair.
Okay. I'm
not doubting you. I'm just saying,
we're 3-0 right now.
Put some respect on Haynes King at least. Georgia Tech wouldn't be a ball team without him, dude.
Haynes King has more to worry about, his mortgage and Social Security, than he does
his insurance job when he gets done. All right.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, he's going to need to buy some insurance on that arm and those legs when this.
No kidding. Hey, life policy. We selling it left and right, ain't we? No. I got you. Right on. All right, but I do like the line. Dabo, and I'll say this to counter that. Dabo needs this.
Yeah,
he better get back on right, because they look pretty terrible against. Who were they playing?
LSU, and then they played
Troy. I was wanting to say Temple, and I'm like, it's not Temple, it's Troy. Man, they look bad. And credit to them for coming back and winning, because I think they were down 16-3 and then came back and won at 24-16.
Yeah,
I think Clemson needs this.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. My fourth one, I have a little bit of a I'm not going to say insider trading. It's illegal, but I know some guys who have been at South Alabama before. So let's go into South Alabama at Auburn. Another big spread. We got to love big numbers right now, because big numbers are going to make us big bucks. Guys, South Alabama, I don't believes in defense this year. They used to. They have had so many players transfer out. I lost count. One of the guys I'm very happy made the practice squad for the Ravens. Shout out to Cuddy. Coached him at East Mississippi. We talked a little bit about this game. South Alabama really had some guys bought in pre-NIL. They just do not have the funds to keep players. Anybody who is worth their weight has transferred out. South Alabama allows touchdowns 60% of the time in the red zone. That's the bottom third without playing anybody just yet. They allow about 220 rushing yards a game. Again, over 200 against Montana State. Montana State, they allowed over 200 if you exclude the sacks. They are not able to stop the run whatsoever. And Auburn is going to do almost like, if you ever you're just getting choked and you're kind of gasping for air. You give them a little bit and then you just keep going at it. That's what Auburn's going to do. Auburn is 85% red zone efficiency with 70% of their red zone trips being a touchdown. That's a recipe for disaster. Every time that you're going to see them trample down the field, Auburn's going to score. They've got a 28-point margin over the last 3 seasons against non-conference opponents, and this is probably Hugh Freeze's best Auburn team since he's been there. Auburn's averaging about 5.5 yards a carry. That's an insane number. That is a really, really good number. Robbie, we hope that Tunde never comes back again. I appreciate you reminding me. I'm glad that you didn't bring him in here. And Auburn will force turnovers. It's very, very cool to see what this matchup is. This is like a rock, paper, scissors, and you've got a lot of rocks and a lot of scissors. I don't see South Alabama winning this game, let alone even keeping it within 30. So
I like it.
Love that bet. Now, guys, this is my favorite one and the one I did the most research on. I love this one, and I hate it because it's a former Vol, former coaching guy that we all love. I've got South Florida at Miami. I got Miami winning by 17.
Even after USF has
so
gone
we're
back-to-back
we're
ranked
looking at
wins.
a push bet here.
I mean, guys, this is what happens if they win by 17. Does this make me what?
Yeah, it's a push. You
4-0 and 1.
You don't lose, do you? It's literally just a push, right?
You get your wager back.
I go undefeated. I'm just saying. This is the one that's most polarizing. I talked to my committee. I think that everybody kind of agrees that this is what the writing on the wall is showing. South Florida's scoring 26 points per game. Their quarterback's throwing 65%. They've only had 5 touchdowns all year, which is kind of shocking when you see who they beat. They've, Boise State, top 25. We all know about the Florida game. I talked about it earlier. Florida, really mishandled that game. One of the worst mishandles I truly believe it's the worst mishandle in the final 7 minutes I've ever seen. South Florida, a little tidbit. Again, something has to give. They have not turned the ball over yet. That is a huge deal. I think they have a +8 turnover margin. That might be the number one in the country. I haven't, verified that. And the other thing too is they're 7 for 7 in red zone scoring. They have executed at such a high level with such little. Their quarterback is their leading rusher. I think he's a gamer. But the problem is Miami is eerily similar to kind of what Georgia's able to do with actually running a fun offense. That's the difference between Miami and Georgia. Miami is going to be a death by 1,000 cuts. They ran the ball 38 times against Notre Dame. Granted, they weren't as successful they like to be, but Notre Dame, I truly believe, is a top 7 team. They'll probably be in the playoffs, even though they lost to Miami. And the other thing is again, going back to something has to give. USF hasn't had a rushing touchdown scored on them yet. So, I think that when what Miami wants to do, they believe in running the rock. I think that with the depth that USF has and knowing that you have a capable quarterback with Carson Beck at Miami, this is going to be one of those where I probably will cover this in the fourth quarter and it'll get kind of away from them in the fourth quarter. I'm really confident in this one, but just to be completely honest, this is out of all of them, the least confident one I have. Just because who knows what the heck is going on if USF beats Miami in their third straight ranked win. Would be electric. But I see the Cinderella story ending here, just as we see every year in March Madness. Somebody goes in, they beat them as they're supposed to, or they're not supposed to, and they come out and they get whopped by a team that actually has the talent top to bottom.
Yeah, so for me, I'm gonna rake with Jake here, on the sports book. But for me, I don't think USF's gonna win this game. But I actually think USF is a very decent team that I think is going to cover the spread. Here's what I will say about Miami. I'm not a fan of Miami. I don't like Mario Cristobal, but I'll say this: Carson Beck didn't look bad, and that defense for Miami actually looked pretty decent against Notre Dame to start the year, and that's what they really needed. I mean, last year they couldn't stop anybody. They had the best quarterback in the nation in Cam Ward, but they couldn't stop anybody. Now they've got a decent defense. I'm not going to say a good defense yet, but they got a decent defense. They can make some noise this year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But make sure that you do go over to Action 247 Sportsbook. Use our promo code Vol Fanatics. Action 247 is a very proud partner, or we're very proud to be able to partner with them this year, using their lines for everything. Also, make sure that if you do have a gambling problem, you do dial that hotline number on the screen, 1-800-889-9789. You do have to be 21 or older to be able to bet in the state of Tennessee. But yeah, It's exciting. I do want to throw myself a little bit of a bone, and I want to try something. And if it keeps going, if it starts going horribly wrong, then I'm just gonna quit. But I'm 1-0 right now doing this. So we've got a WTF this week, and for those that for those that don't know, WTF, that's not an acronym for, or a vulgar acronym for what the crap. In sports, that is wrong team favorite. Last week we had a wrong team favored. That was UNLV was a 2.5-point underdog to UCLA, and they got the outright win. We have another wrong team favored this week, and that is Arizona is a home 1-point underdog to Kansas State. Yeah. Kansas State is bad. They're bad, guys. I mean, they lost in Farmageddon, opening week of the season against Iowa State. Didn't look horrible in that game. But then who was their week 1 game? Because that was actually week 0. Their week 1 game was against some little nobody team that they ended up scoring a touchdown in the final seconds to win the ball game. And then last week get beat at home, if I'm not mistaken, to Army. And Army's not a bad team, but it looked bad.
Can I maybe throw one more?
Go for it.
Troy putting Clemson on their heels, and they are a 3.5-point dog to Memphis at home.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much stock in how they play Clemson, but them being at home and a 3.5-point dog against Memphis is kind of crazy when they had Clemson on their heels last week. Anyways,
yeah,
that's all I got.
Yeah, I wanted to give myself a bone on that one for picking that UNLV one. Yeah, and another one, and I'm not even gonna throw that one out there. Never mind. That's getting a little bit too far. I want to make sure I'm staying in good graces there. So, but no, I've got Arizona should be favored in this contest. I think they beat Kansas State at home.
Well, I'm doing a dumb parlay, and I just put it in. Oh yeah, anytime UCLA loses, I'm happy. I like it. Thank you.
You know what? You know what? I think they could be on upset alert this week too. I looked at that one for upset pick of the week.
Come on now.
They're a 14-point favorite against New Mexico at home.
Come on now.
I have an analogy for Nico, and I hate to throw shade at the guy because it's like kicking a guy when he's down. But imagine if
it is kicking a guy.
Imagine if I had a suit and tie on right here, and I stood up and I've got boxers on. Moving forward, it's almost like if you watch Nico from just the throwing motion, you're like, man, that guy has great mechanics. He looks poised. And then you zoom out and you realize what he's throwing to and how poorly his decision making is. It is so scary how you can get just, I guess, into the snake oil salesman and see a guy who looks good but just doesn't have it between the ears. Yeah, I'm glad we got Joey. I want to make a side note. I'm really, really excited about this Tennessee Georgia game. I'm absolutely elated to see what goes on here. If we can get to Gunnar Stockton, guys, we got ourselves a ball game, and I'm gonna say whoever wins this game wins by double digits.
Oh, okay,
absolutely.
All right, I don't know if I'm breaking with Jake on that one.
All right, I'm glad that wasn't the best bet. But yes, if Tennessee wins and Alabama loses and UCLA loses, boys, I'm getting turned. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't condone drinking, but I will be drinking a lot.
So. Jake, appreciate you coming on again with us this week. Looking forward to a 5-0 week this week. So got to have some success there.
We gotta have it. Gotta have it. Yep. I loved it.
Yeah,
great
see
show.
You next week, man. So yeah, that is.
Man, I'm so glad you went back to this screen. God, ain't it so beautiful? Like, whew, that's what I'm talking about.
Keep enjoying it for another week. But
I quit. He said smite. We changing that. Yeah. I don't blame you.
But another great show tonight. Appreciate all the viewers that came in. Once again, always coming in for the Jake segment. We just need no. We're taking away from the Fanatics Show. Then we can't have Jake on any more than he is.
I'm telling you.
So, but I will say from that last segment, all I took away from Jake's last comments was Jake is sitting there in his shirt and he's got nothing but boxers on. Since he brought up the analogy, that's all I took away from his last comments.
No shot, bro. No shot.
No, you got anything else before we get out of here, man?
Man, nothing really. We didn't really talk about injuries for Tennessee too much, other than the defensive line, but it's pretty much all but confirmed. Ricky Gibson is probably out for the season. I could see that in the very first interview after week 1, and Josh Heupel said he's out for an extended period of time. That pretty much knows it's something serious, and he might just end up taking a medical red shirt. So don't expect Ricky Gibson back for the rest of the year. Jeremiah McCoy is on pace to come back probably around the bye week, so maybe game 6 on the schedule.
Pretty much what we've been telling everybody from the start. Bye week is about the target date.
Yep. So other than that, though, that's all I got. I think we've almost nailed everything, and hopefully having a great weekend of football.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we're coming out of here next week with the Tennessee victory.
That's right. Rhonda says, great job. No. Thank you. Thank you for being here. You make this show great and what it is, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. So
yeah, absolutely. As always, everybody, go Big Orange.